New numbers show the state of the opioid epidemic and what local officials are trying to do to combat it. West Virginia's teacher walkout is inspiring some other states. And in sports, Ohio women's basketball played this afternoon. What's next for the team? Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Athens County is taking action to recover funds lost in the opioid epidemic. Good evening, I'm Josh Gregory. A lawsuit against opioid manufacturers is in the works in Athens County. According to the Athens Messenger, commissioners hired Taft, Centillis, and Hollister. The goal is to bring back some of the cost of dealing with the addiction crisis. The epidemic has cost the county money in several areas, including law enforcement, prosecutions, child services, and emergency medical services. Athens would join a number of other counties in Ohio and other states in suing prescription opioid drug distributors. The state of Ohio itself is also suing painkiller manufacturers. Attorney General Mike DeWine sent a letter to major prescription pill distributors in October asking them to fund the fight against the epidemic.
These are the drug distributors who flooded our state with pills that they knew far exceeded legitimate medical needs.
And new numbers show just how bad the epidemic has gotten. Accidental overdoses in Hamilton County increased by more than 20% in 2017. This due to the rise of fentanyl and other opioids. And Butler County investigated 232 overdoses in 2017. This was the fourth consecutive year with a rise in drug-related deaths. Hamilton County is hoping overdose prevention efforts will stop the rise this year. Ohio isn't the only place struggling with the epidemic. The entire country is too. The Centers for Disease Control says emergency room visitors for overdoses jumped by roughly 30% between June 2016 and September 2017. The largest surge was in the Midwest, which saw an increase of 70%, with a 109% increase in Wisconsin alone. The number of people addicted to opioids has remained consistent, but the deadliness of the opioids has worsened. The city of Nelsonville is attempting to lessen the financial hit from the Hocking Correctional Prison closing by retiring some jobs. The city has reorganized some positions under a utilities unit office that will be comprised of one lead street department worker, one lead water and sewer department worker, and 4 general utility workers. During a closed meeting held at the end of January, City Council President Ed Mash knew the consequences from the closing.
I mean, I hate to say it, we're faced with some staffing changes and changing our entire way of operating. I mean, we're going to be at bare bones minimum to be able to operate and support the city.
Nelsonville is projected to lose $360,000 per year in lost water and sewer revenue. The prison is set to close by the end of this month. There will soon be a new state park right here in Appalachia. Governor John Kasich announced this at his State of the State address last night in Westerville. He will name the park after track star Jesse Owens. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources purchased a portion of land owned by AEP, which spans parts of Guernsey, Morgan, Muskingum, and Noble counties. Kasich did not speak about much policy during the speech, which Democratic Representative Dan Ramos seemed frustrated by.
Unfortunately, it was, well, look, we can't fix everything. You know, we had infant mortality, we have poverty. There's more work to do. We can't fix everything. It's like, okay, but you've been in charge for 8 years now with your party in control of both houses, and let's see those policies, because unfortunately the same problems we had then we still have now.
According to the Ohio State House News Bureau, several members of the legislature saw the lack of policy talk as a message that his proposals are now in the hands of General Assembly.
Well, yesterday we saw temperatures in the 60s, and you would think we would see those warmer temperatures staying around, but you thought wrong, because right now we're seeing temperatures only in the mid-30s. We're seeing 37 degrees here in Athens with those snow flurries in and around the area, and you can see that wind chill at a cool 29 degrees is what it feels like, due to those winds being out of the west-northwest at about 13 miles per hour. And that cloud cover of snow is keeping those temperatures quite low across the southeastern Ohio, northwestern Virginia, West Virginia area. with 38 degrees in Columbus, 36 in New Lexington, and 39 down in Ironton. And earlier today, here's a picture that I took. It's on my Facebook page, my Twitter, and Instagram story. You see that snow did come down in heavy pockets at times, bringing a little bit of a dusting. However, it did taper down after around 3 or 4 o'clock or so. And we don't see any more snow coming in the forecast this evening. As you see, by 7 o'clock, those snow showers will be going out of the area, and then by 8 o'clock, 33 degrees, and by 9 o'clock, we're seeing mostly cloudy conditions with temperatures around 32 degrees. Josh?
Well, it seemed like we had a taste of every season in Ohio today. Thanks. West Virginia schools are back in session. The 35,000 public school employees returned to classrooms today after a 2-week walkout. It ended yesterday after state legislators approved a 5% pay increase for all state employees, including teachers and school staff. Governor Jim Justice also agreed to create a task force to fix problems with the state's healthcare system. Stonewall Jackson Middle School teacher Hannah Silverman is excited about getting back to work.
I'm pumped. I was like a kid on the first day of school last night. I literally couldn't sleep, so I was really excited. This is my passion. I want to be here, and I've been excited, since we found out yesterday.
The success in West Virginia has inspired other teachers in states with low teacher wages. Educators in Oklahoma, which ranks 49th in teacher pay, are considering similar actions. Forensic examinations disproved prosecutors' theories in the case of a condemned Ohio killer set to die next month. Colorado-based Independent Forensic Services says its examination of the autopsy of Deborah Ogle, who was shot in 1986, showed she died hours, not days, after officials found her body. Executive Director of Ohioans to Stop Executions, Kevin Werner, said this raises questions about the conviction of death row inmate William Montgomery. Evidence shows Montgomery did kill Ogle. Federal judges are withdrawing a lawsuit against Ohio State University for refusing to book white nationalist Richard Spencer. The school said the event posed substantial risks for safety and disruption. However, attorney James Kulinick says a lawsuit will continue against the University of Cincinnati over the school's $11,000 security fee for Spencer to speak there. Ohio income tax collections for last month are below estimates. This after a huge haul to start the year. Tax revenue was down $25 million, or almost 10.5% for February. However, Budget Director Tim Keene said personal income tax is still up by $225 million for the year. He also said sales tax numbers are down nearly $70 million for the year. Amazon is offering a new deal that could impact millions. And President Trump is tangled up in a lawsuit. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
We are here for the same reason, although I suspect we hope for different results.
You know what they say, yeah, the wicked get no rest.
I do not admire you for this.
Looking at my heart, in a place,
It's only 6, isn't it?
got so much to lose.
Love.
So much to prove.
For judgment.
We are not amused. God.
Trouble on my left, trouble on my right. I've been facing trouble on my side.
This is how you'll be a man.
My sweet love, won't you pull me through?
Are you becoming squeamish?
Oh, God, your mother's here.
The lesbians. They're getting married. You're having a great time.
God, don't let me lose
Yes.
my mind.
Come and play with us.
Onward and onward!
Good ideas open up a whole new world of possibilities.
The more you know about history, the more you know about yourself.
The sky is the limit.
Where I go, there you are.
Porn star Stormy Daniels is suing President Trump. She says the two had an affair several years prior to his presidency and that he never signed a hush agreement. Trump denies any such encounters happened. CNN's Sarah Sidner reports.
Porn star Stormy Daniels suing President Trump, seeking to invalidate the non-disclosure agreement she signed just days before the 2016 presidential election, preventing her from talking about their alleged sexual encounter.
You can't say whether you have a non-disclosure agreement, but if you didn't have a non-disclosure agreement, you most certainly could say, I don't have a non-disclosure agreement. Yes?
You're so smart, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
The lawsuit argues that the agreement is null and void because it was not signed by Mr. Trump, referred to in the document by a pseudonym, David Dennison. Daniels' lawyer says Mr. Trump purposely did not sign the agreement so he could later, if need be, publicly disavow any knowledge of the contract and Ms. Daniels. According to the complaint, Daniels had an intimate relationship with Mr. Trump that began in the summer of 2006 and continued well into 2007. The adult film star, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, considers sharing her story in 2016 after the Access Hollywood tape surfaced.
You just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the can do anything.
The complaint alleges Trump's longtime attorney, Michael Cohen, intervened, paying Daniels $130,000. Daniels says Mr. Trump knew about the payment, which she calls hush money. Last week, Cohen admitted to paying Ms. Daniels, but insisted that neither the Trump Organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed me for the payment either directly or indirectly. The lawsuit says Cohen has continued to intimidate Ms. Clifford into silence and shut her up in order to protect Mr. Trump, even as recently as February 27th, when Cohen filed a bogus arbitration against Daniels without giving her notice of the proceeding and basic due process. In the lawsuit, Daniels also alleges Cohen coerced her into signing this statement in January, which states that reports of her relationship with Mr. Trump were false.
The White House and Michael Cohen did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comment, and President Trump has vehemently denied any sexual encounter. And the federal government is involved in a lawsuit as well. The Department of Justice is suing the state of California. The lawsuit is challenging policies in California that protect illegal immigrants from deportation. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the policies obstruct federal efforts to regulate immigration. A grand jury in Florida returned a 34-count indictment against Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz. He's charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder and 17 counts of attempted murder. Police say Cruz confessed to the mass murder. WSVN reports the couple Cruz had been living with was in court today after being subpoenaed to testify. An attorney for the Sneed family says they were just trying to help Cruz when they took him in.
They tried to do the right thing. They tried to provide a home to this young man who lost his mother and didn't have a home. And nobody saw this coming. Nobody could predict this. And my clients, they're gun owners, they're safe gun owners. And we don't have any absolute knowledge as to how it is that he managed to get into that safe or get that ammunition and do this. But we just have to stand by like everybody else and see where this case goes.
Cruz remains behind bars in the Broward County Jail, separated from the other inmates for the time being. Amazon is reducing the price of its Prime membership for Medicaid recipients. The online retailer announced today that recipients will be able to get Prime for $5.99 a month. To qualify for the Medicaid discount, customers must have a valid Medicaid card or electronic benefits transfer card. A storm is raging along the East Coast, but how will it affect us? That story is still ahead.
And here are some things to look forward to, because you see my 7-day forecast, you ain't gonna be happy. Coming up next on Newswatch. But first, here, look at stocks of local interest.
I don't mind saying it.
Now you look like an astronaut.
My dream is to walk on the moon.
2, 1.
Look at this place.
It's a crazy design.
It's nearly impossible.
What is the next step toward furthering our presence in the cosmos?
That was something.
Oh, this is incredible.
Very, very scary.
Reality is always more unbelievable than anything we could have imagined.
We're literally on the cutting edge.
Unreal.
Hi, I'm Hari Srinivasan from the PBS NewsHour.
And I'm Mark Brewer from WOUB.
Join me on PBS NewsHour and PBS NewsHour Weekend for the latest news and analysis of the issues that matter most to you.
Weeknights at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 5 right here on WOUB Public Media.
Well, if you went outside today, it was a very chilly day today, and you see that high only reaching 43 degrees. That was actually at midnight this morning, and in fact, the day it just dwindled down to about freezing. But then it's a little bit of near normal, but a little bit below normal in terms of highs. But unfortunately, in the 7-day forecast, you will see coming up that it's going to stay that way, and it's all in part to this big old system right here. We have a low pressure right off the Lake Erie, and also this nor'easter way over here. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But all that cloud cover coming in from the Great Lakes, pulling down moisture from the lakes as well as those cooler temperatures. And you can see those clouds moving in, bringing in those snow showers we saw today, bringing a little bit of a dusting, only about 0.02 inches of accumulation according to the rain gauge over in Scalia. But the headlines does show that the snow is coming back in the forecast, and it's going to be below average temperatures is what we're going to be talking about. And unfortunately, you want to count down to spring equinox because that's the only thing we have looking forward to coming up. But overnight, we've seen temperatures only in the 33 degrees by 8 o'clock. By midnight, 28 with cloudy conditions and windy. And then by 4 a.m., those temperatures going down in the mid-20s with still cloudy conditions. And overnight lows, you see 28 degrees over in Columbus, 22 in Newark, and here in Athens, 24 degrees. With that cloud cover sticking around, with those snow showers ending around 8 o'clock this evening, and those winds really chilly, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And like I said, the setup was that low pressure right here off the Great Lake region. It's kind of sitting there. It's going to die out and move off to the east. That trough is going to stick around, bringing in those cooler temperatures sticking around. And then for tomorrow morning, you see no chances of rain or snow, but tomorrow afternoon, there's a slight chance of some rain or snow mixing in. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Tomorrow morning for the bus stop, 26 degrees for those cloudy conditions, 31 degrees by noon, cloudy and still breezy. And then by 4 o'clock, a chance of snow showers are possible with those clouds sticking around. And highs tomorrow only reaching the mid-30s, so 37 in Columbus, and here in Athens, 35 degrees, with those wind chills only between 20 and 25 miles per hour with those strong winds out of the west. 7-day forecast, though, Friday, we're seeing a little bit of a warm-up coming in at 42 degrees. Saturday, 48 degrees. That's our warmest day coming in the 7-day forecast. And then next week, temperatures only in the upper 30s to lower 40s with more chances of snow showers coming in. And like I said a minute ago, that nor'easter is coming in off the northeastern coast, and Omar Jimenez is reporting on that.
Flooding in Maryland, thunder snow in New Jersey, and uncertainty in Massachusetts.
The hardest question to answer
is where the snow and rain line is and when.
The second massive storm to hit the Northeast in the span of a week is closing schools, canceling flights, and making trouble yet again for over 50 million people.
We are announcing a state of emergency.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy warning residents to be cautious as parts of the state expect up to a foot of snow.
Prudency, responsibility, smart common sense is the words of the day.
Parts of Pennsylvania, New York, and Connecticut also under a state of emergency, expecting heavy, wet snow, high winds, and with the weather, new power outages.
We have 1,700 workers out there. That is a very large deployment.
Tens of thousands of people from Virginia to Maine are still without power. The challenging weather expected to impact recovery.
Many trees are in a weakened condition as a result of the damage that they suffered on Friday. And so we'll have both slower response to the remaining outages and in all likelihood, some new outages.
And making matters worse, in coastal Massachusetts, new concerns of flooding after several seawalls sustained significant damage during Friday's storm.
We witnessed large portions of our seawall fall into the Atlantic Ocean.
Communities up and down the East Coast bracing now for another blast of wicked weather, waiting for spring to arrive.
Now here's Tyler with the sports.
Thanks, Ethan. What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler Corbett, and coming up, the Ohio women's basketball team is in tournament season. See if they were able to keep the season going against Miami. And an Ohio freshman was named MAC Freshman of the Year. We'll tell you all about how she was able to run away with that award through a record-breaking performance when Newswatch returns. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Feel my face anymore.
Let's go! Going out, going out, going out together, running up the mountain.
You're doing good. You're just a little slow.
There's no time for doubting.
Welcome to madness.
I'm expecting the unexpected.
The chicken feet really put me in a foul mood.
Join us for Family Ingredients Season 2.
Show me your mayonnaise, and I'll tell you who you are.
I can't wait to have a taste.
Now that's crispy.
Hello, I'm Paula Kerger, president of PBS. I'd like to tell you about a terrific new membership benefit called PBS Passport. With a qualifying donation, Passport brings more than 1,000 hours of great PBS and local programming to your computer, phone, or digital media player. You can catch up on shows you may have missed or revisit some of your favorites. The best part is that you can watch whenever you want. When you make your qualifying donation, you'll help to make all of the programs you love on this station possible, so don't delay. I know that you're going to love PBS Passport, so please make that donation right now, and thank you for your support.
Welcome back. I'm Tyler Corbett. Now, getting right into the big news. The Ohio women's basketball team's season came to an end 2 hours ago. The Bobcats fell in Cleveland to Miami 69-66. The MAC quarterfinals pitted the Redhawks and the Bobcats against each other for the third time this season. The Battle of the Bricks did not disappoint, as this thriller came down to the final shot. A Taylor Agler three-pointer fell just short. The Cats end their season at 16-15. They do return Sierra CC Hooks, who will be the team's leader next year. And CC Hooks, she was named the Mid-American Conference Freshman of the Year. Hooks came in and made an impact in her first season with the Bobcats. She led the team in steals, rebounds, and points. The season also ended with Hooks shattering the single-season record for steals. While Hooks was celebrating her award, many were thinking that Tavion Kirk was slighted for the MAC Freshman of the Year. On the men's side, Kirk had better shooting, rebounding, and assist statistics than the two who finished ahead of him. The awards were voted on by coaches and MAC media members. Switching gears and heading to the high school hardwood, the boys' TVC Hawking crown will finally be decided, as Waterford and Trimble will face off tonight. The Wildcats and Tomcats had their final game of the season rescheduled 3 times. With both teams being knocked out of the playoffs, they now have time to make the game up. Both teams have a 12-3 record in conference, making this game winner take all. Tip-off is at 7:30 at Trimble High School. Stay tuned to WOUB.org for coverage of this one. There's a big shake-up coming to the Muskingum Valley League. Tri-Valley head coach Justin Buttermore resigned this week after accepting the head coaching position at Granville High School. Buttermore most recently led the Scotties to the Division III state title game this past season. Buttermore turned Tri-Valley into a power, winning 47 straight conference games. In his time, Buttermore saw 10 playoff appearances and 12 playoff wins. He takes over a Granville team that has never won a playoff game. Tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers travel to Denver to take on the Nuggets. This game against Denver kicks off an 11-day road trip for the Cavs. This is the Cavs' second meeting with the Nuggets this week, with the Nuggets winning 126-117 on Saturday. The Cavs will be without Kevin Love again tonight and will have to rely on LeBron James and a slew of role players to get the job done. The Cavs are 37-26, good for third in the conference. Tip-off tonight is at 10:30. Now, the NFL Combine came to a close, but not without a funny moment. Teron Johnson, a cornerback from Weber State, was just running his drill before he got nailed by a stray football. Amazingly, he still finished the drill and caught each football, and he found a fun new way to make a bit of a name for himself. But hey, that's all I got for you. Josh, here we got some great news coming in the medical industry.
That's right, Tyler. Federal officials gave genetic testing company 23andMe approval to sell at-home test kits to detect 3 breast cancer gene mutations. The FDA says this will be the first direct-to-consumer DNA test for these particular mutations. A 23andMe spokeswoman said the test will be added in the coming weeks to the Ancestry services. The FDA says the test can only detect 3 out of more than 1,000 known mutations. And let's throw it on over to Ethan Emery with a final look at your weather.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold tonight with those temperatures going down to the lower 20s. So we're seeing overnight lows between 22 degrees and about 27 degrees down in Ironton, with that cloud cover sticking around the area for tomorrow, with highs only reaching the mid-30s, so 32 in Newark, 35 here in Athens, and 39 over in Ironton. The 7-day forecast, though, pretty chilly. So by tomorrow, 35. Friday, we see highs around 42 degrees. And then Saturday, our warmest day of the week, 48 degrees with probably cloudy skies. And then next week, we're seeing those temperatures only in the lower 40s to upper 30s. And that's chances of snow each day. Josh.
That's right, Ethan. Make sure you bring out that winter coat. I'm Josh Gregory. That's a look at your final weather. And this does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.